fact,
It
with
is
no
harder
fans
to
there,
see,
I don't
isn't
think
it?
they called it. I think they missed it, and I
Yeah,
think part of the yellow card was that they didn't see it live properly, as it was, where everyone else saw it. It was shoulder to head.
yeah. It is harder to see because it's not like a clothesline, is it? It's kind of it's closer contact, but
Well, yeah, because there was
yeah,
a proper tackle in motion. It was a normal sort of contact situation in every other way, but
yeah. It is a difficult one because you do feel slightly like you're punishing him for the consequences, and but direct contact, forceful contact to the head has been a red card consistently for a couple of seasons.
yeah,
And
I mean, I think back to Paddy Arvan against Wigan in the season opener for Widnes, and he came swinging over the top, and
yeah,
it was direct and it was forcible. He wasn't meaning to hurt the guy, and you move all the way forward for Chris Hill start of this season, and you've seen those things consistently given. I just think they messed up on this occasion. I think Thaler missed it and messed up, unfortunately.
yeah. And therefore the yellow card is a bit of a we think it deserves punishment, but we're not confident enough to make a big call like a red card. So we think 10 minutes is a bit of a easy way out, if you like.
Blake Costin got a grade A tripping charge as well. No match because he's got no previous disciplinary in the last 12 months or whatever. But so he didn't get any further punishment for that, which seems fair.
It is nowadays. I'd like to see us return to the seriousness that we used to treat tripping. I think it's a dog act and I can't stand it, and I want it out of the game. So for me, if I'm in charge of the judiciary, I'm upgrading it to like a B or a C, and I'm making it mandatory game bans because I can't stand it because it's cynical and it's cheap. And you don't need it.
This one in particular was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's the guy stepped me and he's made me look like a bit of a dick, and I'm sticking an arm and a leg out. I kind of get
the Tompkins one where he's only gone to trip Hampshire because Hampshire's pulled him down. Hampshire could have gone to the sin bin on if the referees had seen the pullback that he did on Tompkins, and then Tompkins trips him up after he's gone past him as kind of reaction. Whereas this was cynical, weren't it? It dropped the ball, yes, and he stuck out his leg behind him.
Yeah, he did. And he knew exactly what he was doing as well.
And he took it on the chin, didn't he, to be fair, when he, with his comments about it in the post-game when he said, I owed my team, and he did something to his team. Shall we run through the people who got the points in this one? Adam O'Brien got 3, Michael Lawrence 2, and Stefan Ratchford 1 for the Man of Steel points. And in the Albert Goldthorpe, bit of a difference. Sam Hewitt got 3, Adam O'Brien got 2, and Toby King got 1. I mean, pick out for me your star players and talk if you want to about any of those guys.
For me personally, Michael Lawrence was my player, so I kind of go with Man of Steel representation a little bit. I thought, actually, considering generally the forwards for the Giants overall were very good, particularly when they lost a player. I thought Ty was good, although better going forward than in defence. He got caught a couple of times in defence, I thought.
It's a big man for a second row, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, yeah. They're going to play to that, and they're going to use his size against him. So yeah, I guess if you score a try that a smaller second row wouldn't score as he did, maybe the flip side of that is what you take. But yeah, Paul was right. The moral vacuum was pretty good in this game as well. As much as I don't like to say that, he was pretty good. I just like the Giants this year. I know they're not winning, but I like the way that they're going about it. Kind of young team, kind of picking up players that other teams might not have. Golden being a key example of kind of, he's making his way in back in the Super League, isn't he?
Yeah, I think Ashton Golding is almost completely symptomatic of this Huddersfield side, though. That there's just something that you like what you see, but there's something missing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Adam O'Brien, I love Adam
Yes.
O'Brien, but there's something just not there.
They haven't quite got the killer instinct, have they?
Yeah, and I think in this game, the whole game lacked the killer instinct. No one really grabbed this game and took control of it from my point of view. So it was hard to pick out star players, because normally you're looking for what they do with the ball, and that's why we end up talking about Michael Lawrence, talking about Adam O'Brien for what they did without the ball. Really, I know Adam O'Brien, a bit of it is what he does with the ball as well. Like, how often is he the first person to a loose ball? No matter where it is on the pitch, how is he everywhere?
That's what every good hooker does.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's yeah. Obviously, I'm going to say I'm a big any other business fan. But yeah, they're a very hard-working team. I think they've been incredibly unlucky the last two matches in many ways. But yeah, it does kind of suggest that there's a little bit of a soft underbelly to their ability to kill off teams.
Well, they came back into this one right at the end, and young Russell was, one of the players who had little cameos in this game. He was one of them. Widdop and King for Wire as well. I'd give positive comments to for their sort of attacking cameos. But Russell, he kind of epitomised that, didn't he? He came in, he wanted to get around everything, but still something just not quite. I mean, those drop goal attempts were hideous.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. At the end of the game, they had two incredibly inexperienced halves, didn't they? Up against Austin and Widdop. Do you know what I mean? The differentiation there is massive. And I suppose spending power, it speaks there, doesn't it? But
one other thing to not forget for the Giants, Al, was there was a clear-cut chance, one of the few really clear-cut chances that were created in the whole first half of this game, really, where Cudjoe was through and for the first time in memory couldn't find McGilvray.
Yeah, a practice or not kind of issues with them as a combination, because obviously Cudjoe was out for a long time and he deserves a word because he coming in after a long injury break and all that.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad, was he? He just missed on that one. Even in those tries scored down their side in the second half, I think he was chasing back. He looked fit, so that's pleasing to see from his point of view. Just timing was off, I guess, but that is as frustrating as the other bits we've talked about, where maybe 50-50s went against him. That pass for the Widdop try did look forward. I think at speed, you can understand why the officials didn't get that one. I would say personally, but
yeah,
a few significant decisions didn't go their way, Huddersfield. But there was a couple of times as well where they didn't help themselves. So that's why I'm saying there's just something missing. But I liked them more than I liked Warrington in this game, if that helps. Sam Hewitt getting the Albert Goldthorpe point. I don't quite think he was the best player on the pitch, but I've never seen him be that involved in a game before, so I think he's definitely worth the mention. Is another young player that's come through at Huddersfield that's starting to show promise, and even there's some young players there that they picked up from other clubs as well to complement what they were bringing through themselves, but they've put a confidence and a trust in youth, and what you're actually seeing is they don't look different from one week to the next, really, depending on who's in the side, which I think is a real positive. The problem they've got is they're just missing something. They're just close, but they're close, but they're not as good as Warrington, basically. They were unlucky and deserve to win this match, probably, Huddersfield, but they're just not as good as Warrington.
Yeah, it feels like with some of the kind of exposure that they're giving to the younger players, that they're a team that's building for maybe a run at the playoffs in 2 or 3 years. I just think there's too many. There's not enough games this year, and they've lost 2 close games, which I think is crucial, which might actually stop them getting in the top 4.
Yeah, I wouldn't count them out yet. But
No, I'm not counting them out. I'm just saying that
yeah,
there's it's difficult this year with the limited games.
best piece of play in the game for me, though, was obviously Tom Lynham's try. Really good team move to get the ball across the park there, and then great bit of play by Toby King to keep the ball on offer and, make the right choice as well. Not panic in that situation. Really impressive.
Yep.
He had to make up for how far he came out of the line for the McGilvery try. I don't know where he was going.
This is the thing. Sometimes the guys on the edge are made to look stupid by kind of poor decisions inside, aren't they? So, but yeah, no, it's Wyatt got away with this one a bit.
Move on to Sunday. Do you want to do the score for Game 3 and then I'll talk through the stats?
Yep. So this one finished. It was St Helens 10, Castleford with the duck egg. It was a duck egg apiece at half time, and James Child was the man with the whistle.
In terms of the stats, Saints made 440 more metres at 2.4 metres per carry, better average gain than Cass, and for 3 more clean breaks, actually. So why didn't they win comfortably? Well, from the stats, they made 6 more errors in a 20-14 count and had a worse team tackle success rate than the Tigers. Individually, Lachlan Coote with a try assist, 194 metres and 2 clean breaks. Morgan Knowles with 57 tackles, 15 of which were marker tackles. Alex Walmsley with 5 tackle busts, 165 metres. Tommy Makinson, 6 tackle busts, 1 tackle grab and 188 metres. James Roby, we're going to throw in a 5th one for Saints just because it was his 500th game and he still performed at a super level. 45 tackles and 108 metres. He went both ways. Did Robes in this one. Daryl Alford, 6 tackle busts, 173 metres, 2 clean breaks for Cass. Oliver Holmes, 51 tackles, 21 of which were marker tackles. That's the joint 4th most in Super League in a game since the Super League pod began at the start of 2014. That's good. Liam Watts, 45 tackles, 10 of which were marker tackles, 116 metres. He shook off the early knock well. And Michael Shenton, 142 metres.
So getting to your views on this one, St David says, tighter than a Yorkshireman's back pocket. That's a hate crime. Both defences on top against some uninspiring attack. Saints holding the nerve to close it out at the death. Makinson probably gets a ban. Sure, we thought he had Watt's leg. Big lad is Liam. Jammer may do too. Onwards.
Well, nothing for James Graham. So Matty Lee's got a grade A no game ban. And Tommy Makinson, grade F charge, other contrary behaviour, referred to attack tribunal. So grade F is where we're talking about the situation of Ben Flower and a period suspension sort of thing is kind of a potential for grade F. I think, didn't Bradford player get a grade F charge last year and got 8 games? I think as well. But for a similar offence, I think. Tom Andrews said, Well, a game of stiff defence. Momentum of the balls changed often until Farge's try shafted the Tigers. They should have arguably been bollocksed when they went down to 12 men, but Saints' normally golden attack was simply flaccid. Oh, and a big ban coming. Maybe one too far, that one, for Tommy the Todger Tickler.
Tommy the Tickler, yeah. Mark W says, fair play to Cass. After holding out that first 20 minutes, Saints seemed rattled and made a fair few uncharacteristic errors. It was a solid defensive effort against a team who scored over 80 in the last 2 outings. It's about as happy as you can hope to be with a nilling. As for Makinson, it's easy to joke, but it's an awful thing to see, and he needs her ban.
No, we're still on the jokes, Mark. We'll get to the seriousness of it. Brendan Loftus said, most enjoyable Super League game of the season so far. The game pretty much had everything from a positive perspective. Saints can be a bit shithousey when things aren't going their way. Lees and Morgan Knowles usually. But what's Makinson playing at with the squirrel grip? Walmsley man of match by a country mile too. This was a great game, weren't it? Really enjoyable.
Yeah, game of the round.
For the lack of scoring, it didn't mean that there was a lack of goal line action. And although there were some errors in this game, more so in the second half, I think, most of the errors were either forced errors or got to the point where the play had to be forced because something had to break. I just thought it was a great watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of it's a bit of a wrestling cliche, but I had this down as the irresistible force against the immovable object, and Cass were the immovable object. They were really good in defence, really, really